Tonight on News Center, Cal U gets fired up with the homecoming court. Mandarino Library replicates the White House. Students act up in Steele Hall. And the Vulcans look to continue their PSAC dominance. News Center starts right now.
Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Allison Steinheiser with sports. The Cal U football team has been dominating opponents all season long with the ball. However, as competition gets tougher, they need to prove what they can do on defense. On Saturday, when the Vulcans took on Gannon, they set out to prove they can not only put up points on the board, but also stifle an opponent's offense. The Vulcans were looking for their 6th victory of the season when they took on the Golden Knights at Gannon University Field. John Luckhart was looking to lead the Vulcans to another PSAC West win, but early on in the first drive for Gannon, Jeffrey Hicks is the recipient of a 61-yard pass, and he's able to take it into the end zone to give the Golden Knights an early lead in the first quarter, 7-3. But the Vulcans would prove that they would not be stopped. Here, a nice pass by Josh Portis to Blake Williams for the 9-yard touchdown to put the Vulcans up 10-7 late in the first quarter. And again, in the second quarter, the Vulcans continue to roll here as Derek Jones gets a nice 12-yard pass from Josh Portis again to put the Vulcans up 20-7 heading into halftime. Then in the third quarter, the Vulcans are able to prove that they are one of the best in the PSAC West as Josh Portis was another touchdown here to Chedrick Cherry, this time a 10-yard pass to put the Vulcans up by 27-7 in the third quarter. Then in the fourth quarter, Lamont Smith, again this time with a rushing touchdown, is able to put the Vulcans up 34-7, and that is how the game would end with a final score of 34-7. Lamont Smith had 109 yards rushing and also added 96 yards receiving, and Josh Portis had a season high of 328 yards throwing and 3 touchdowns. As the season is reaching the midpoint, football teams are not only worried about wins but also rankings. The Vulcans are now ranked 4th in the American Football Coaches Association poll behind Grand Valley, Minnesota Duluth, and North Alabama. The Vulcans are the only PSAC West team that is ranked. Edinburgh, who was ranked 24th last week, dropped out of the rankings this week. The women's soccer team is also looking to establish themselves as one of the best teams in the nation. On Wednesday, they traveled to Millersville. The Lady Vulcans were able to improve their record to 13-0-1 with a 7-1 win. Camelia Lilifetta led the Vulcans with 2 goals and 3 assists, while Bethany Smida added 2 goals to bring her total to 14 goals on her year. The Vulcans look to improve on their 4th place national ranking on Saturday against Westchester. This week's international athlete has been in the spotlight from the time she was 13. Paula Jackson from Kingston, Jamaica has played for the Jamaican national team from the time she was in junior high school, so she was used to being away from home. There were still several adjustments that Jackson had to make when she decided to go to school in the United States. For athletes like Paula Jackson, it is not possible for them to visit a campus before deciding to go there. However, this does not mean they cannot be attracted to a school.
Actually, came here and disappeared, but it was out of line to actually encourage me to come here.
Many international athletes have to adjust to being away from home, but that was not the case with Jackson.
I played for a national team, so I traveled a lot, so it's easy being away from home, so it wasn't a hard process for me.
By the time she was 13, she was able to catch the attention of coaches.
I would just play for my high school, and the national coach was there, and he saw me playing, and he invited me to play.
By playing for the national team, Jackson was able to compete against some of the best soccer players in the world.
We play USA and Mexico and Canada, and that's the biggest teams you can play. So the competition is it's not the same.
Even though Jackson had played for the Jamaican national team, there was still an adjustment she had to make on the field.
Fields are definitely better, obviously, but the style of play is different.
Well, this weekend with homecoming, there are a lot of events going on, but there are a ton of sporting events going on Saturday. At noon, there's a men's soccer game. 2, there's a women's soccer game. 3:30 is a football game. And then both the women's team and the CHE hockey team are at home this weekend, starting at 6 and at 8:30. So there's a lot of sporting events going on.
Well, I think it's great that they're having so many sporting events this weekend, especially because it's homecoming. But hopefully not everyone forgets about all the other events going on and just show up to the football game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of alumni around. Maybe some of them can make the trip up for the soccer game and Then, of course, the hockey games, that's later in the evening, so people could show up to that after the game.
Yeah, Vulcan fans can definitely get their fill of sports, especially on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Allison. Well, that's all for this edition of News Center.
We'll see you next week.